I don't think either of us ever intended nor believed that we would ever be caught. Alas, she ended up in that scentless hospital bed covered by a small flannel blanket and plastered with tiny stickers and needle holes. It had always been normal in our house for death to weigh heavy on our minds. I suspect even our parents contemplated it daily. Yet none of us ever thought that we'd end up in a ward full of concerned parents and tired nurses, pulling morphine out of her veins and sleeping in uncomfortable mustard armchairs. I inferred that perhaps she had just wanted the love that she had never got, or felt she hadn't, from our parents, that perhaps she tiptoed into the world to find this affection she craved so much, as it ate her alive, only it came in the form of wet neck kisses instead of bedtime stories. Every night, at some unholy early hour, she would tiptoe through our house, tiptoe in a jacket and trainers out the door. She would close it so softly you couldn't even hear the chain move or the floorboards squeak. The only sign of her absence was the metallic cry of the rusty gate that seemed to send its wails straight through my window, like it was telling me something was wrong. You could tell when she was home because there were two different sounds, one creak for the opening and a painful clatter when it closed. She would walk for miles in the night, talking to strangers, bearing a mile for every heartbreak, a step for every person who walked over her. Her smile would be small when she left, waiting for the cool spring breeze in the young morning air, and non-existent when she returned, because the bed where she had held and lay with and kissed all of her heart's killers lay at the end of her journey. I'd ask if she was okay every time she left. She would say of course she was. I'd ask if she was okay when she got home, if I was still awake. She would say, of course she wasn't. She would crawl into bed beside me because her room was too empty, too hollow, too lonely. Not enough light in the day, and not enough warmth at night. She would cry to me, and I would pretend that I was as good as those loves. Kiss her on the forehead, tell her she'd be okay, she'd get over them, and they'd come back. I had heard her heart when it opened, so unused, so used to being closed that it creaked like our old gate beneath my window. I thought at times that I had heard it close with someone trapped inside, thought she'd made her bed with someone nice and lay down in it, that my bed would be empty for the rest of our lives as I kept my heart closed, but hers remained open. I never heard the crash of her heart closing. The gate was ripped off its hinges. Her heart was in shreds and wouldn't close. She had too much hope, too much room for when her first love returned, but he never would, and she was open for the taking.